Hello everyone, it's Jeannie and I'm here today to share two cards using the Spring Fling Floral stamp set from Trinity Stamps. This stamp set contains a ton of floral and leafy images, and the fun part of the two cards that I'm sharing today is that they use the same stamp set, but they have a very different vibe just by changing one aspect of it. So to start off, I am grabbing all the small leafy images for the stamp set, and I'm focusing solely on those images. I have placed them on an acrylic block so I can stamp out two card panels, filling up the background with those stamps. So I ink this up using Ink on Three's Blackout Hybrid Detail ink, and I think that this gives it a very crisp black image. And since I'm using an acrylic block, we are all prone to errors. So if you don't stamp fully or anything like that, you can always go in with a Copic friendly marker and fix that. And I do that with a few of the images. You can see one of the leaves isn't fully stamped, and that's okay. I just didn't want to use a stamping tool because I would have to move the paper, and acrylic block just makes it more versatile, especially when I'm trying to fill in the little nooks and crannies for the background. So as you can see, stamping this up is very easy, and although it's not exactly the same, the pattern on the acrylic block keeps the background looking almost the same. So it's not going to be exactly the same, but close enough, and there's no need. This creates quick backgrounds, and I think that it makes it really easy to do. So when I finish stamping out these two card panels, I'm going to move on to the next part, which is just blending distressings for the background. So both these card panels are stamped on Bristol Smooth cardstock, and anytime that I am planning on using distress inks for my backgrounds, I will always use Bristol Smooth cardstock. I can normally blend on normal cardstock, but Bristol Smooth just makes it a lot easier. It's more forgiving, so if you have like a harsh line, you're able to blend that out pretty easily. So both of these card panels are using the same distress inks. I'm using Peacock Feathers, Scattered Straw, and Worn Lipstick, and I think that these three colors combined give it a very tropical, summery vibe, and I'm all for that right now. We've had a lot of cold weather and it's been abnormally rainy. So this weekend we're actually having very nice warm weather, and I am all about that right now. I normally don't really care either way. I live in San Francisco and I enjoy the fog, and so even enjoying the sun right now. Okay, so when I finish these two card panels, I am just going in with a Copic black marker and coloring in the floral images, and it gives it a silhouette vibe. And since these floral images are very small, this works really well for this stamp set. And I am just coloring them in, and there's no blending or anything. It's just a solid black coloring. So it's a very easy technique, but you will get two different card panels from this. One is just the stamped image and one is the silhouette image. And I still have yet to decide which one I like better. I think I like both of them, but this is an easy way to create a background for a lot of cards using this stamp set. And I think that the change of one aspect of the card really changes the complete vibe of it. So for both card panels, I'm trimming down by 1/4 of an inch on both sides, and this will just allow me to mat this on a card base with a little border. So for the first card, I'm using the Hello Sentimini, and I will be heat embossing that on black cardstock in white, and I really like how the white pops out on the black. So I'm going to go ahead and prep my black cardstock with a powder tool, and then use the Juicy embossing ink pad to stamp out the hello. And then I'll go ahead and pour the white embossing powder on the sentiment, and I really like how it pops out. I'll just use my finger and remove any excess. So I'll go ahead and heat emboss that, and once I'm done, I pull out one of the nested banner dies from Simon Says Stamp to die cut this out. It creates the perfect little sentiment strip for it, and I'll go ahead and adhere it to the card panels. So I add it to the stamped image background, and I really wanted it on the silhouette. So once I put it down, I'll realize that and I'll carefully remove it. And the good thing about this is I plan on putting the sentiment in the middle of the card. So even if it pulled up a little of the cardstock, it'll be covered up by the other sentiment. And I think it really looks good against the silhouette because hello in white really pops on this particular card. So I'm really happy with how this one turned out. So I'll move on to my second card. And for the second sentiment, I'll be using on vellum instead. So anytime I have a super busy background, I really like how vellum softens up the background and lets you focus on the sentiment. So I'm doing that here with the Thank You Sentimini. I go ahead and do the same process for heat embossing on vellum, where I prep the vellum with the powder tool. Then I'll go ahead and stamp out the sentiment with the watermark ink, and this will get it ready for heat embossing. So once I have that stamped out, I'll go ahead and use the same white embossing powder, and it really pops out on this vellum. For some reason, this white is very white and I really like it. So it really helps pop this out on the vellum against that busy background. So once I have this vellum ready, I'm actually going to run it through my sticker maker. So anytime you're using vellum, it's partially see-through. So if you're using adhesive, you can kind of see it through the vellum, and I didn't want that. So I'll just run this through my Xyron sticker maker, and it adds adhesive to the entire back of that vellum piece. And it makes it very easy to adhere to the card panel. So at first I'm using this T-whirler, but I decided that it's just a lot easier just to line it up on my glass mat. So I go ahead and do that, and I'll fold the vellum back, and this really pops against that background. So I've had two black card panels ready to go, and after the fact I kind of wished I put it on white instead, just so it matched the sentiment, but I still really liked how it looked. But if I'm going to go back and create these cards again, I'd probably do that. I still can't decide which one is my favorite, so if you guys have an opinion, you can leave it in the comments below. Anyway, thanks for stopping by and watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.